tinderbox. Once a soldier came marching along the road. He had a bag of canvas and a sword. On his way, he met a witch. Who offered him money in return for a favor. The witch said, "You have to climb down into that large tree with the big hollow trunk. You will find 3 doors inside. In the first door, you will find a dog with big eyes. He will be sitting on a large chest. You have to put the dog on my apron. By opening the chest, you will find many a copper pence, and yes, you can have as many as you like. If you want to have silver, you have to go into the second door, and there, once again, you will find a dog with big eyes. If you want to have gold, then you will have to go into the third door, where again, you will find a dog with big eyes." The soldier agreed and asked, "But what do I have to do? What do I have to bring for you?" She gave him her apron and replied, "You have to bring me the old tinderbox, that's all." So the soldier climbed down and opened all the doors one by one. He placed the dogs on the apron. And pocketed copper, silver and gold coins. He filled his pockets, boots and even cap with the money. Then he took the tinderbox and climbed out onto the road. The soldier asked, "What are you going to do with the tinderbox?" The witch did not respond. The soldier said, "If you don't answer my question, I will cut off your head." The frightened witch ran away, and the soldier wrapped all the money in the apron. He put the tinderbox in his pocket and walked off to the nearest town. He stayed at the best inn of that town. He made many friends and they told him about the wonderful princess of the country. The soldier asked, "Where can I see the princess?" They replied, "Oh, you can never see her. She lives in a palace which is surrounded by towers on all sides. Only the king can go there, as he fears that his daughter will marry a common soldier." The soldier said, I want to see her." By now, he had spent all his money. One evening, he took out the tinder box and struck a few sparks. Suddenly, the box opened, and a dog with big eyes stood before him. The dog asked, "What is your order, sir?" Now the soldier understood that if he struck the flint once, the dog from the copper chest would come to him. If he struck the flint twice, then the dog from the silver chest would come to him. And if he struck it thrice, the dog from the golden chest would come to him. They would bring him anything he ordered for. So he ordered, "Bring me some money." And lo and behold, his pockets were full of coins again. One night, the soldier desired to see the princess. As he struck the flint, the dog with big eyes stood before him. The soldier ordered, "I want to see the princess." The dog disappeared and returned immediately with the princess. She was so lovely that the soldier kissed her. Then the dog took her back to the palace. In the morning, the princess told her parents about a strange dream she had had the previous night. She told them about the dog and the soldier. They were very upset. So the very next day, an old lady was appointed to take care of the princess. Meanwhile, the soldier again wished to see the princess, and he sent the dog to bring her to him. The old lady ran behind the dog. And she marked a cross on the door where the princess was taken to. Then she came back and went to sleep. While the dog returned the princess to the palace. When the dog saw the cross on the door, he made crosses on every door of the town so that they would all look the same. Next morning, everybody in the palace went to find the soldier's house, but they were confused to see all the doors with crosses on them. Now, the queen was a clever woman. She tied a bag filled with grains of wheat around the princess's neck. Then she cut out a corner so that the grains might fall on the way. At night, the dog came again and carried the princess on his back. He took her to the soldier, who now wished to marry her. The dog did not see the grains on the way. Next morning, the soldier was caught and put in prison. He was to be hanged. The soldier was upset as he had left the tinderbox behind. Suddenly, he saw a shoemaker walking by his prison window. The soldier said, Hey, shh, shoemaker, shh, would you like to make some money? All you have to do is bring me my tinderbox. I will make you rich. That I will. Quickly the shoemaker ran to the soldier's house to get the tinderbox. There were many soldiers outside the prison. The king and the queen sat on their thrones. The soldier was asked his last wish, just before he was to be hanged. He desired to smoke a pipe. The king agreed to his harmless wish. The soldier took out his tinderbox from his pocket and struck it thrice, and the 3 dogs appeared before him. The soldier ordered them to save him, and so the dogs frightened all who were there. The king and queen were scared too, so they agreed to marry their daughter with the soldier. The dogs were present at the wedding, and the soldier and princess lived happily ever after, for the princess too fell in love with the soldier. Ricky of the Clump. Once upon a time, a queen gave birth to a son. He was very ugly. The queen was saddened by his ugliness. But a kind fairy promised her that her son would be very clever. He would also be able to gift his wisdom to the person he truly loved. Now, this little prince had a clump of hair on his forehead, so he was known as Ricky of the Clump. Ricky grew up to be a fine young lad, and everyone could see that the fairy had been right about the boy's intelligence. When the prince spoke, he charmed everyone. He surprised them with his clever wit and intelligence. 7 years later, a neighboring queen gave birth to twin daughters. The first one was very beautiful. She was, however, declared stupid and foolish by the fairy. The queen became sad on hearing this. The second princess was born very, very ugly. The fairy told the queen, "Do not be sad. Your second daughter will be very clever. No one will notice her ugliness." The queen thanked the fairy. She asked her if there was any way by which her beautiful daughter could also be, well, wise. The fairy just sighed. There was nothing she could do. She told the queen that her beautiful daughter would be able to give the gift of beauty to the person who pleased her most. The two princesses grew up. The beautiful princess surprised everyone with her beauty. The ugly one was so clever that she surprised everyone with her intelligence. Just as the fairy had said, the beautiful princess was stupid. She barely spoke anything sensible. The ugly princess grew uglier day by day, but she gathered many admirers because of her intelligence and charm. At the same time, the beautiful princess was very sad. Nobody wanted to talk to her. She wanted to give up all her beauty. She desired to have even half of her sister's intelligence. One day, sad and lonely, she went to the forest to think about her bad fortune. At that moment, there stood before her a very ugly but well-dressed man. He was Ricky of the Clump. Ricky had heard of the princess's beauty. He had left his kingdom to look for her. He asked, "Why are you sad?" The princess replied, "I am sad because I am very stupid." Ricky replied that he could help her. He said, "I have the power to give good sense and intelligence to the person I love. I shall give you these qualities, but you have to promise to marry me after 1 year." The princess wanted very much to be intelligent, so she promised him that she would marry him after a year. Suddenly, the princess felt a great change come over her. She did not find any difficulty in talking sense now. She was able to speak clever words. She found that she could now talk easily. She was able to discuss any subject that she liked. People in the palace saw the change in her. They were happy to see her so wise, intelligent, and clever. The king, her father, also called her to important meetings in the palace. He also took her advice. Now that the princess was intelligent, clever, and so very beautiful, she received many offers of marriage. There was one handsome and powerful prince she liked. Her father told her that she could choose him as her husband. The princess once again decided to take a walk in the forest to think about her future. While the princess was walking in the forest, thinking deeply, she saw several men preparing for a huge feast. There was a long table laid out. Everyone was busy. They were preparing a large number of dishes. She asked them what they were doing. One of them replied, "We are preparing the wedding feast. It is the wedding of Ricky of the Clump. He is getting married tomorrow. Ho ho!" In a flash, the princess remembered her promise. And the very next moment, what did she see? Ricky standing before her. He had a happy glow on his ugly face. He thanked her for keeping her promise. He told her about the wedding arrangements. He told her that he had made these arrangements for their wedding. The princess was very confused and did not know what to say. She stammered and said that she was not sure at all that she wanted to get married to him. Ricky understood her. He explained to her that she could grant beauty to the person she loved. He also explained that she could do it in the same way that he had given her intelligence, because he loved her. When the princess thought about Ricky, she realized that she loved Ricky because of his good qualities. She was only doubtful about getting married to him because he was so ugly. Then the princess looked deep into Ricky's eyes. She said, "I wish for you to become the most handsome prince in the whole world." As soon as the princess made her wish, Ricky changed. He appeared before her, handsome and graceful. The princess smiled. She was happy now. They got married the very next day and lived happily ever after. The Little Mermaid. The Sea King lived under the sea. His palace was made of shells and sparkling stones. His mother and 6 daughters also lived with him. All his daughters were beautiful, but his youngest daughter was the most beautiful. She was not like the others. Her sisters liked to play. But she liked to listen to stories. Her grandmother said, "You will be able to see the world when you will be of 15 years. Indeed, when she was 15 years old, her grandmother decorated her hair with lilies. Then she ordered 8 oysters to attach themselves to her tail. They started swimming up to the surface of the sea. As they reached the surface,